Yes. Right.
Model view controller, what are these three components? What is model, what is view, what is controller?
Sorry, you're not audible properly, Jeet.
Can you not hear me? Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
So what is that model view controller thing? What is model, what is view, what is controller? Can't hear me? Hello?
Ajit, model is basically the data model or the database. For an example, objects, fields, and records. And view is, the front end, the user interface. And controller is basically the logics, which actually controls the front end with the back end. So probably the facilitator between the both.
Right. Absolutely correct. Yeah. So now I want all the microphones on mute, please. I can hear some noise. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So as rightly said, model view controller. These are three different components of the framework. Where model is the backend database, view is the user interface, front end view that people get to see, and controller is the controlling logic, right? So when we talk about customization, so customization is required on every level, right? Because there are three components, there are three layers. So we need to customize, you will need to customize everything, right? And other thing that we understand at this point of time is that this customization thing can be done with drag and drop option and with programming. Right, so you can do the programming side of it, or you can do the drag and drop option and do the customization. So both the options are available to us. Now, when we talk about this model view controller thing, model customization, we have seen how to create objects, how to create fields, how to add fields. Those things we have seen. Last session was about controlling the view, customization of the view of the front end, right? And we are at this point of time, we are just talking about the drag and drop options. So we have not got into the programming thing. So programming is, again, when you start doing the customization using programming, again it's going to be a matter of the view and the controller customization, right? Model is anyhow data model, so you don't have anything to do with the programming part there. But what you will be doing is you will be working more on the view and controller customization with programming. And at this point of time, we are still learning how to do the customization using drag and drop tools with Salesforce, right? So last session was pretty much towards what level of customizations we can do in terms of the page layout or the interface that the user gets to see, right? Now that is one part. Now getting into the third layer, which is the controller. Customization of logics. Okay, or putting custom logics that you want to be there on your app. Okay, that is what we are going to get into, right? So this customization of logics, while we are talking about this, we are basically talking about four things. Number one is formulas. Second is validation rules. Third is workflow rules. And fourth is approval process. So we have formulas, we have validation rules, we have workflow rules, and we have approval process. Okay, so these are four basic customizations of the logics which can be done, or four ways of putting custom logics without involving any coding or without involving any programming to be written. Okay, with drag and drop options, these are 4 things which you can do to put your custom logics into the app. Got it? So these logics are basically used for this is also called in Salesforce this set of customization options are also called business logics. Okay, sometimes this is referred to as business logic. So when I'm talking about business logic, we mean these 4 things. Okay, so putting logics, and remember, we are not going to put any logic where we involve any programming. No programming will be involved. These are all drag and drop kind of options, simple options of putting custom logics on our apps. Okay, so basically what does a logic do here? When I say a logic, basically what a logic does here is logic would automate some stuff based on logic. Okay, so you don't have to actually go and do things manually. Salesforce will automatically do certain things based on what logic you have defined. Let's say, very simple example is, if you have a price field and you have a tax field, okay, you want tax to be auto calculated. You want the tax to be automatically calculated. What happens then? This tax can be automatically calculated if you put a logic there, like tax is 10% of price, or it's 12.36% of the price. So whatever, if I have a clearly defined logic to calculate the tax, I can automate it. So we do not have to go and do manual calculation here, right? So this is the simplest of the examples. It can go a lot more complex. It can become as much complex as you can make, right? So this is just one simple example. So if I have a clear defined logic, I can save some man hours into that application, and things can be automatically calculated. So this can be done using a formula. The simplest thing that we have is the formula. So we have talked about these 4 things. What is the first thing? Which is a formula. So if we have some logic defined to calculate value of a field, you can make that field as a formula field, and that formula field will automatically calculate the value based on whatever logic you define. As simple as that. Okay, so let's do a small example and see how the formula thing works. So formula is basically a field type. So the way you have other field types now, we have seen the lookup field type, and we have seen the text field, and we have seen the number, phone number, currency. So these are the field types. The same way, we have a field type which is called formula. So it's one of the field types in Salesforce. So any field which you think should contain a formula, you should select the field type for that field as formula field type. Okay, then you can put whatever formula you want, right? So let's do a small example and look at it, and then it will become easy. Suresh, would you be sharing your password, please? Thanks, Suresh. All right. So here, let's say we take an example of our opportunities. Let's take an example. In opportunity, we have a field called amount, okay, and we will also include a field called tax there. All right, let's take that example. Opportunity does not have an amount field here. Why it does not have? I think you guys removed it the other day, right, from the page layout. So let's go and bring it back on the opportunity. Last session, I think you guys removed it from the page layouts. Yeah, here it is. So this amount field can be got in here. Expected revenue was also removed, so I'll get it here. Move maybe this one here. Makes sense. Quantity. Right. That becomes okay. Save it. Okay. So now the moment I go to opportunities, click on new. Okay. Now when I enter this amount, I want a field called tax, and I want that tax to be automatically calculated based on the amount. Okay. So that is what we are planning to do here. So it's going to be very simple. It's just about adding one more field in opportunity, and that field should have a field type of formula. So just go to setup, simple stuff. Let's go to setup, and then from setup we will need to go to customize, then we go to opportunities, and then we go to fields, and we will add a new field here. So the field type, as I told you, the data type of the field will be formula. So make sure you select formula here. If you don't select formula here, then you will not be able to put the formula. So select formula, click on next. Just say tax, give it a name. What will be the return type? Okay, so what will be the formula return type? After calculation of the formula, what data type it returns? So we are talking about currency, so it will return currency. All right, let it be currency. 0. Next. Okay. And what is the formula? You can put the formula with the reference to the field. So you can insert the field that you want to refer to. You want to refer to the amount field. Click on insert. If you know the name of the field, you can straight away type the name of the field. But if you do not know the name of the field, then you can insert the field also from here. So see, tax equals to what? That formula needs to be written here in this big box. So if you are searching for any particular field, you do not remember the name, you can easily select the name from here. Got it? Okay. 10% of amount, right? So which means amount into 10 by 100, which is 0.1. So this should be the formula. Okay, that is it. Once you have written the formula, you quickly can go ahead and check the syntax of the formula. Do a syntax check on the formula. No syntax errors in the merge field or functions. Compile size 30 characters, whatever, that's fine. Done. You can go ahead, click on next, save it. Make it visible here, click on next, save. Alright, now I have one more field which is called tax, and this will be automatically calculated based on the amount that I enter. So now you cannot see that tax field here. Why you cannot see it? Because that is a read-only field. So the moment you enter all these values, then that field will become visible. Whatever. Put these data and save this record. Here is the tax. Automatically got calculated and it's a locked field. Because this is a formula, right? So it will be, the value for this field will be auto populated. You cannot enter a value into this. This will be auto calculated. Tell me, is that clear? Everyone okay with that? Alright, now as I told you, this is a simple logic. So this is the simplest of the logic. This formula can be used for a lot of complex logics, right? So it does not have to be a simple calculation as simple as a tax or something. Let's say for tax only, let's try to get to one more level of difficulty where there is a rule. Let's say that if price is less than 20,000, tax is 10%, and if it is more than that, else it is 15%. So now you have that scope of putting an if else option there, right? And you can do a calculation. Okay. So the same formula we'll just go and edit. We'll put an if function there. So just go to setup, customize, opportunities, where it is, fields. So I already have that tax field. This time I'll just need to go and edit the field. The field is already there. So I'll need to go and put an if function here. So all the functions are listed here. If you see, all the functions are listed here. People who have worked on formulas in Microsoft Excel will find these functions very familiar. But if you have not worked on Microsoft Excel and you do not understand these functions, don't have to worry. If you understand 3-4 of these functions, gradually you can start understanding all these functions. Okay. So if you want to learn more about functions, you always have this link available here. Okay. You can click on this link and this will take you to a complete reference guide of all the functions which are available with Salesforce, right? But again, having said that, I do not want you guys to go through each and every function. So don't start reading the functions. This is more like a dictionary which you can refer to when you need, but you don't start learning all the words of the dictionary. So same way, this is a reference link for the functions. When you need a function, you can go back and check on this link. Otherwise, it's absolutely fine. See, the operators and the logical functions and the mathematical functions. So logical function will have if else and all this stuff. So how if function is used, you can click on this, and this will give you details of the if function with an example and all. See, so you have example of almost everything. Almost every function is explained here with the example. Okay. For everything we have this example given. So we will have this function here. All right. So if function, you insert this function. My logical test is if amount less than 20,000, right? This is a logical test. Then value should be 10%. Amount into 0.1. If this is more than 20,000, then the value should become amount into 15%, which will be amount into 0.15. That's it. So now this is my function. You can do a quick syntax check. If there is any syntax error, it will show you here. There is no syntax error. Let me save this. Now let's go and create an opportunity. So this is more than 20,000. So definitely this tax is going to be 15% here, which would be like 7.5 thousand. Yes. That's it. Got this? So you have a scope of making things the way you want, right? So it's not just about, again, mathematical calculations. There can be other things. Like if I have to, talk about one more example. Sometimes what happens, let's talk about a real-time example, which a lot of companies do. Sometimes you want to categorize your accounts, right? Maybe if you have a list of accounts, you might want to categorize those accounts in terms of A category, B category. You want to segregate them as A, B, C, different categories. Why do you want to do these things? You want to categorize accounts because you might have some good salespeople, and then you might have some salespeople who are not that good and all that stuff. So in that case, what you try to do is you try to give the best accounts to the best of the people, and the ones which are not that big accounts, those you can give to the new sales guys and all, right? So for categorizing these accounts, sometimes companies do have defined logics. Let's say any account which has a revenue more than 5 million is A category account. If the revenue is from 1 to 5 million, then it's a B category account. And less than 1 million, revenue less than 1 million is a C category account, let's say. Okay. So this can again be done through formula. So you always do not have to go and check each and individual account. You can just put a formula. So every time someone is entering an account in your system which has a revenue more than 5 million, automatically becomes an A category account. So this is just one logic. You can have more logics for that and all, right? Correct. So this is formula. The next thing that we are going to talk about is about the validation rules. So we are done talking on the formulas. Now validation rule. What is validation rule? As the name suggests, it's a rule. Okay. This is a rule. This is not a field type. Formula is a field type. So these keywords I want you guys to keep in mind. So formula is field type, which will calculate the value of that field and automatically populate the value for that field. Validation rule is basically a rule, okay, and this rule is to kind of automatically check if the data that is being entered is valid. So this checks whether the data that you are entering is valid or not. Okay. So how does it check it? That logic also we have to define. Okay. Let's say your company has a rule that amount of an opportunity cannot be less than 5,000. So the minimum opportunity that we can take is $5,000. We are not going to do any business which is less than $5,000. Then what do you do there? So here what we have to do, we have to make sure that the amount of the opportunity is at least $5,000, right? So to ensure that whoever is entering data from wherever the data comes, it is not less than $5,000, we can put a validation rule there. And here we don't need calculation. Here what we need, we rather need a validation rule to work in place, which should go ahead and ensure that any record which is being entered has a minimum amount of $5,000, right? So now this amount is a field on opportunity. So what we have to do, we have to go and create a new field on opportunity object. So what we have to do here, go to the setup, customize opportunities, validation rules, click on new, give a name to the validation rule, of minimum so let's say this is your rule. You just go ahead and click on save. You want to put a logic here which is like amount is less than 5,000. So this is the error condition and this is the error message. So error condition is amount less than 5,000. So whenever this condition is true, it will throw this error message. Amount cannot be less than 5,000. Fine, simple, makes sense. Simple logic. Okay, save it. Then you have to make sure that your validation rule is active, because this is a rule. You always have to make sure this is active in order to work. If you make it inactive, this validation rule will not work. Okay, and we understand why they have given us this button. If sometimes, let's say you want to enter some data as an exception, you want to allow some data below 5,000 also. Let's say end of season sale is going on, and you want to take any opportunity which is less than 5,000. So at that time, you don't have to go and delete the validation rule. You can just make it inactive, just deactivate it, and then this validation rule will not work. The moment it is active, this will not allow you to enter any data which is less than 5,000 in the amount. So let's just go and click on new, whatever, give it an opportunity name, put an amount which is less than 5,000. Let's say this one. Okay, now it should throw me an error. Let's see. Yeah, it does. Amount cannot be less than 5,000. So here again, this validation rule, what you see here, we have two things. One is the error condition and the other is error message. Okay, so this error condition is the main thing here, right? Error message can be anything, whatever you want to define. So what you have to understand is defining the error condition. How do you write the error condition? So this example that we used was very simple. Again, just opportunity amount cannot be less than 5,000. Sometimes it may happen that, okay, fine, if the opportunity is coming from a particular industry, if it comes from let's say the energy industry, it cannot be 5,000. If it is coming from manufacturing industry, it cannot be less than 10,000. That sort of things, right? So those complex things can be there. So we will again use that if and all logic there. So it's all about formulating this error condition, and this is being again done through those formula expressions, right? So if you understand formulas well, and if you have that clarity on the formula expressions and functions, you will be able to do good validations also, better validations. So in that way, you are going to be protecting your data in a better way and all that. Got that stuff? Clear on it? So formula is one thing, validation rule is the other thing. Okay, now tell me who has a question on this, on the formulas and the validations? Anyone who has a question on this, not able to understand? Everyone understands this? Okay.
Jeet,
So, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Jeet, I have a question on formula. So you mentioned that if you have to calculate tax, which is 12.36% of the price. So usually a tax is segregated into three parts: 12%, then 1%, and 2% of that particular value. So how we can incorporate two further sub taxes in one formula?
No, sorry, I could not understand. Tax is calculated in three parts. Why?
So there is cess, then there is educational cess.
Fine, good.
For an example.
For an example. So what you'll have to do is, first of all, you'll have to have these three things. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good example. So let's say there's price, then you will have let's say service tax, and then there is cess, then there is education cess. Okay, so if you want these things to be displayed separately, then you have to have these three fields, three formula fields, right? So there should be some percentage and a formula on this and a formula on this, and there can be a total which will be basically sum of all three. If you want these things to be displayed separately, individually. If you just want one tax field and put all these logics there, then your thing is easy. Let's say, for an example, price is 100, service tax is 12% of price. Let's say I'm just giving an example. I do not know the exact rules and all. And this is, let's say, 2% of price. And this is 20% of cess. Okay, so that way we can put formulas. So our formulas will work, right? So this will get calculated, then this will get calculated, this will get, so automatically Salesforce will do all the calculations. In case we want to have one single tax formula, we should just know how to formulate that. So it will be like 0.12 into what is that? Price or amount plus 0.02 into amount. So that way, it's just about how do we write our mathematical functions. So that way. Got it?
So if we have to add tax into the price, then another field is required in the object. The sum of all these things, and again one more formula will be added.
Yeah. So for total you need one more field, right? So you need this field, then you need this field, then you need this field, and you need one more field to do a sum, right? Then only a breakup can be shown. We want to show the breakup, right?
Okay.
If you need breakups, then you need fields. If you don't need breakup, then in one field club everything. Are you getting my point? So we can put everything in one field, which will be a long formula then. Okay. But the point is that, do we need a breakup? So if you need a breakup, then we'll go with 4 fields. If you want to show your employees, it happens, right? Sometimes what happens is you want your customer support team to see all the breakup so that they can explain to your customers that how much cess was deducted and how much education cess was deducted or something like that, right? In that case, we have to have these 4 fields. In case you think that no, I just want one field and all the tax, whatever complex, so here we can put whatever complex equation we have. 12% of amount plus 10% of this plus 0.2% of this. So big formula can be written here, but then we'll not have the breakups, correct? So this ultimately will give us one amount, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rupees or dollars. This will not give us breakup. So if we need breakup, then we'll have to have the fields. Clear? Okay with everyone?
Yeah, thanks.
So this is all, depending on our requirement, the way we want things to be calculated, right? Because a lot of times you will have one more, while we are talking about this tax thing and all, sometimes you will have a requirement of creating an object for invoice. I think you might have done on that warehouse application, invoice is an object. So if you are talking about invoice, then invoice will have these breakups. The tax breakup, if you have 2-3 different types of tax, that will have breakup. So in that case, we do not have any scope but to go and define multiple fields there. Correct? Okay. So that's, yeah.
Hi Jeet, I have one more doubt.
Yeah, please go ahead.
If we product has a multiple taxes, so like based on the quantity, our product has a multiple discount opportunity based on the quantity. So can we do the same for the in that case?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just about referring to a field and populating value of the other field. It can be discount, it can be tax, it can be anything. And you can refer to the way we are referring to amount, you can refer to the quantity also.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with this and a couple one document along with this thing. I'll leave you with a document and I will also leave you with this link that I showed you, right? You see this link? So this link is going to be your friend for all functions and for formula and validation related things. So even if you want to write a complex logic on a validation rule, you can always refer to this link. And I'm going to share one small doc with you, which has a few examples. So you guys can take out time, spend a few hours on doing those examples. Give me a minute. Let me share that with you. One moment. I'll just fetch the document where I have saved, and I will show it to you. One minute. I'm not able to fetch it. Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Suresh says that can you give us some daily tasks? Yeah, definitely. So not every day, because every day the topics are not something where you can do some task, but definitely some of the sessions I can give you some tasks like today's session, because we have something to do. Last session was more on designing the page layout, so you do not have to do too much there. Okay, but today's one, I think you guys will have to spend a bit of time with this document which I'm going to share. Okay. This document, the one that you can see on my screen, I'm going to mail it to all of you. Okay, and this is a very nice document. Okay, so what we have here, we have few very good formulas here. All right, the examples like the formula to create a link to a certain search engine. Okay, then a formula to show the month of last account activity, so which month we had the last activity with a particular account, the contract approval process, aging, right? So what is the age of the approval process on the contract aging, what is the age of a certain contract, So a lot of these kind of like account rating, I told you, rate the accounts category A, category B, category C, that ways. Here they have rated the accounts as hot, warm and cold, okay, depending on which city the account is from and depending on the revenue, billing country and type. They are rating those as hot, warm and cold. Okay, so this way you have a lot of examples. So you can spend some time and go through these examples. Okay, so you will not, it's not necessary that you start understanding all these functions at once today itself, but try to work on those, the ones that you understand. Okay, instead of getting stuck with the things that you do not understand. Basically, it's not very difficult to understand the formula. If you do not understand certain concepts, skip that one, go to the next one. Okay, out of this, even if you are able to understand 15 or maybe let's say 12 out of these, you are good. Fine, then other functions you will definitely be able to figure out on your own. Got it? So this PDF I'm going to share with you all right after this. All right, so just refer to this, practice the examples that we have just talked about. You can try and put your own examples. So your activity 1 will be practice formulas and validations, simple examples as we discussed. Okay, activity 2 for you today will be work on the PDF that I'm sharing. And activity 3 is going to be work on the PDF, so just spend some time with the PDF. And I am also going to give you one more assignment today. Is you were talking about, we were working on the human resource app, right? So time for you to go and figure out some scope of using formulas and validations on your human resource app. Okay, so you should come up with where we can put a formula or what kind of a validation rule can be put on that HR app that you were designing, right? So time for you guys to go back, look into those, look into the HR app that you were designing. I do not know where, how much you guys have done on that. So, but whatever progress, go back, look into that and figure out where can we use the formulas and validation rules there. All right. Everyone needs to come up with at least 3 scope of formulas and validation combined. 3 things you have to suggest. Okay, everyone needs to come up with that. Okay, can be done. Simple thing. It's not difficult, right? So that is it. I think that's what you guys have to do. And tomorrow, once we meet, we will get into the other 2 logics, which are the workflows and the approval process, right? So just have a good idea about formulas and validations today. Tomorrow we are going to discuss further on the workflows and approval processes. All right? Yeah.